Thank you so much for tuning back in. NerdTots Dungeons and Dragons. We're currently in our Rods of Dominion campaign. We're picking up right where we left off last time. We are, of course, as you guys can see, in a virtual play session here because of the, obviously what's going on in the pandemic and everything, just trying to be mindful of that and responsible. Having said that, we're picking up right where we left off. Our group had just finished destroying a pretty decently difficult creature and getting a nice boost to their experience, got themselves to level 5 in that. It was a contract that one of the sovereigns in Neverlight Grove had offered them. They had just finished that, so now we're going to pick up right back into that. They had an opportunity to, I think I gave you guys an opportunity for a short rest. So I'm trusting everyone already took care of that. If you didn't, too late. And then, yeah, we'll go right. You guys just vanquished this. Something came up out of the depths of the pool and dragged the body of the fungus creature that you killed. It dragged it under the water, and you guys kind of moved away from that. And that's where we are.
Well,
Harvey.
Ooh, thank God that's over with.
Harvey.
That sucks.
So, anybody up for some snacks back at the cave hole?
I think we need to maybe do something else more than just snacks.
Isn't what's his name supposed to give us some like potions or something for beating this guy?
Yes. So part of what you guys had, part of the contract for getting rid of this creature was Sovereign Basidia, who is friendly with Stool, offered to give each of you a potion of greater healing for taking that thing down.
Well, I'm looking at my inventory, and I really do feel like I could go go grab one of those potions that he offered us. So, how about you guys? Let's go talk to him.
Let's get what we're owed, and then I think we all need to have a pretty in-depth conversation.
Hey, Shu, when you got some time, I'd like to talk to you later.
That's kind of the point of us having an in-depth conversation.
Yeah, this is
Kinda
more of a
ties
side thing.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see.
Okay, so I guess you guys should just make your way along along the path to get to Sovereign Basidia, who sees you guys approaching with, we're going to assume like some chunks of that thing came off, so you guys are kind of come up to Basidia with like some of the gobbets of like the flesh, quote unquote, that you got off the creature as proof that you killed it. And myconids again don't have, they're kind of humanoid in their shape, but it's a little hard to read expressions. They're very alien in that way, but you can certainly see like an excitement from Basidia as you approach with your proof. Basidia, gestures and brings out some spores so you guys can communicate. And then telepathically in your head, you hear Sovereign Basidia say, "Ah, yes, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you ridding us of that nuisance."
They're gonna give us some like good spores.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
I think they're gonna give us some of them good spores that made me hallucinate for 2 days.
Good spores where you hallucinated. What are you referring to?
I'm talking to the other guys.
Yeah, we could all hear you. We're in the mind meld thing. Yeah, I think we're good on you not having good spores.
Yeah, last time I kind of put you in a bad spot, so I don't think so.
Well, here, as promised, here is your reward. And then Basidia kind of like steps like 20 feet to the side, and you see Basidia kind of like moving some mounds of like this fungal growth out of the way, really well disguised. There's a little cubby hole, and Basidia reaches in and grabs 4 potions of greater healing and then hands one to each of you and says, "As agreed, again, thank you so much. I do wonder, however, if there's one final request I can make. The good news is I've spoken to the Circle of Adventurers, and the circle leader has offered to provide you a scout to lead you to some paths that will then lead you to the surface. But in order for that agreement to be made, there is one other favor that I would ask."
Kill the serpent?
No, as you know, the other sovereign, Philo, and I are not seeing eye to eye on many topics on how we are going to continue our society. and there's something happening. And as Basidia is saying this, you can see it look up into the distance back of the back of the cavern to like a plateau leading up to that huge mushroom stalk that you guys have seen back there, and points to the plateau right below it and says, well, and pointing to it, well, there's some strange things going on up there, and I'm getting the feeling that it's not safe for myconids. We are susceptible to something that is happening, and I'm hoping that some outsiders may be a bit more resilient in helping at least figure out what it is so that we can decide what we need to do. So I'm simply asking if you can investigate and find out what is happening up there.
So just so we're clear, you want us to do not only the task we completed, but the second task to kill that other serpent thing, and then now investigate this other thing for you. Just want to make sure you're banking everything on us, correct?
There's plenty of work to go around. It's entirely up to you if you choose to go rid us of the serpent thing you're referring to, or that basically there's two things that we need help with. You don't have to do both. You can do one or both, whatever you want to do. There is, I would say, and again pointing up to the plateau, there is something dire happening up there, and I feel at this point probably even more of a priority than anything else. You don't have to agree, but if you do, I can ensure you get a guide to help take you to some pathways and trails that can lead you to the surface, in addition to some gems that I have found in my time being here.
Well, gems and info. Got kind of mine.
Guys, should we maybe deliberate on it and get back?
I think we should talk about this.
Yeah, we should definitely make a decision before we make a decision.
Because you're asking a lot from a group that's not really a group.
Fair enough. Again, we've lived up to our contract and our bargain on this one item, and it is up to you whether to accept any more. I can only thank you and hope that you will do just a bit more to help us. We will make sure to repay you in kind.
We'll get back to it.
Off to our hole we go? Question mark?
Off to the hiding hole.
Okay. Again, as you guys are making your way a little bit south, and maybe I can pull up the map again real quick. 1 sec.
I went ahead and added that potion in my inventory.
Same, I got mine in there too. And I started moving non-essential items into the backpack to just make my inventory space clearer for what I need and what I don't need at immediate access.
There we go. So if you guys can see the mouse, so essentially where you were was right here by this pool where you destroyed the fungus creature. So you kind of make your way a little bit south and then across this little bridge here, and you can see the little tunnel. So as you're making your way up this little bit of a path here, you run into Sereth, who, if we remember, was one of the other drow that was imprisoned with you, who ended up kind of breaking off, and then you guys were surprised last time to see him here, and then
then we started messing with his mind a little bit, right?
I believe so, yes. Yeah. So at this point, he sees all of you, and then almost excitedly, like, jumps up and down and like runs over to say hi, and then is like, I'm so happy to see you. Have you decided to join in the celebrations?
Still thinking about it.
What is there not to celebrate? The time of joyfulness is approaching. This is concerning. Why are you not more excited?
Like how close approaching?
Days. It is the beautiful union. You must witness it.
Have you seen it?
Well, and then as he starts to answer, his head kind of tilts to the side, and he seems like he's hearing something in the distance. Never mind, I must go. Please, 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 please stay and enjoy. It is a time of merriment for everyone. And then he runs off.
Definitely gotta use that guy as a meat shield.
Do you think he may have been having the same kind of reaction as Drax did?
Mine was trippy. His was possessed.
Probably a stronger dose or even something else really different. I have no clue, and I don't care to find out. I want to.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah,
I will say whatever he's on, I don't want.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that guy's not exactly who we knew before, so
Uh-uh.
I don't want anything that he's having.
Yes, yeah.
Stool, would you say those spores are normal in your community?
I don't believe it is. I will say that it seems to be affecting my people more than others, but it's hard to say.
All right, so
You showed us the way. In your mind, what is the priority?
I would say the plateau. My brethren who go up there, they're not the same when they come back down.
so what he's saying is that the more and more loony stools we have running up there, the more chances that we're gonna have more people to fight on our hands getting out of
Yep.
here.
Yep.
Not if we leave before everyone starts getting all trippy. It won't.
Then we end up probably leaving an army of people behind us. It was bad enough when we were running away from just a few guards. Now we're going to be running away from an army of stools.
An army of stools versus an army of drow does not concern me as long as I'm ahead of both.
Are we going to decide as a group or decide as individuals?
That's the point of the discussions.
I thought we were all already
Yeah,
walking
well,
towards the
you
gate.
guys.
We've been walking
yeah,
towards
we
the
can
cave the whole
assume that
time.
you were talking and walking at the
Yeah,
same
we're,
time.
we're at the cave. Or
When we get
near
the
it.
caves, I have my skelly boys stand at the front and just let me know if anyone comes within like 100 yards or 100 feet of the entrance to where we are.
All right,
But they're gonna be behind that little moss curtain, so they don't see something.
Drax, you're big and tough. Do you think that we're better off having these guys help getting us out of here, or do you think that we should just hightail it while we can?
The more people we have on our side, the better success rate we're going to have. Because we don't know where the drow is. We don't know how far they are.
Birdman, what do you say?
I mean, I kind of hate to say it, but this is going to be one of those few times I'm going to have to agree with Drax and say that the more help we can get, the better we'll be.
Looking over that shoe now, just not even going to ask him, just looking at him.
My biggest concern is the allies we have in our current group. We aren't even allies, to be honest. We had a common goal of escaping. We have now escaped. We owe nothing to each other. And yet, we haven't had any communication as far as establishing anything between us.
Yes, you're right, because we've been dealing with one thing after the other, after the other.
Well, I mean, Shu, you're a little bit more pessimistic than I am, but technically, I've been trusting all of you guys to sleep next to you for the past however long, and you haven't stabbed me in the back, so I kind of consider you my ally.
And
Technically, y'all fought and you did put down the big one, so I don't see what you're complaining about in the end game. But my point is, we are not a group.
You're
We need
right.
to figure out what we're going to do beyond this point, regardless if we all decide to stay and help. If some of us decide to stay and help, we need to figure out what this is, and we need to understand and know each other.
You are absolutely right. But icing on the cake, you get to crash a wedding.
Wedding, I don't care about. I have other things I need.
Better off crashing a wedding you don't care about.
My focus is on whether or not we stay as a group, quote unquote group, or we proceed our separate ways. Because right now, what you guys want to do does not align with what I want to do, and it seems like it's going to put me in more danger and more risk than necessary.
We were slaves in a cave. We weren't in a cage. We weren't bonding.
And then the moment we got a chance to run, we dipped. Again, no bonding. It just, for me, just helped to have more bodies for them to aim at instead of just one solo body.
All right.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you're still owe me when we get out of here. And so I guess we would still communicate after this fact. I would think that since a lot of us have a lot of goals of still getting out of here, we'd still be better off working together. Again, you know, down here, I don't have any friends. I admit it.
Give me a second. What is your goal?
I have people I need to take care of up top.
My goal is to make sure that, unfortunately, the 5 of you, or how many of you, I forget how many of you are there, make it up top. Just like you, I got somewhere to go.
I think you misunderstand. By take care, I mean I have people I have to kill. So regardless of what other stuff comes behind me,
We
doesn't
may
matter.
be able to help out with that.
We were
I
pretty
like
good at
killing-
killing.
First.
I
Still
like
at this
killing
point
things.
steps forward and says, there's many years I've spent in Neverlight Grove, and the one time I did not trust Sovereign Basidia, I got captured by the Drow. It is singularly one of my biggest regrets. I was advised not to go on a deep exploring task by Basidia, and the one time I did not heed Basidia's counsel, I was captured. I can only say that trusting in Basidia would be a smart move, aside from the fact that the treasures he's hoarded and would be able to share with you would be immensely helpful in paying and securing your way to the surface. There could potentially be more
And I get
understanding of what's going on.
I get that still. But the thing is, you knew Basidia before you got captured. I met these guys after I got captured. We barely talked until it was time to get out, and we figured out where the hell we were going to go from there with your help. So you had a pre-established connection. We don't, and we still don't have that connection. If I'm going to stay in help, then we need to make sure that we understand each other, and we have a clear set of goals what we're going to be doing from here on.
All right. I pretty much understand, Birdman. I kind of get what Drax is going for. Guys, look, I'm the most open book. I'm just trying to get the hell out of here. I'm tired of being in the Underdark, you know? I'm trying to start a whole new life out there. You, Shu, said that you were going to offer me all kinds of things when we get out there, and you've still got people to take care of. So, look, I don't mind taking care of people. So, if you want, I'll tell you right now, I would rather stick with you guys until we get out of here, and even after we get out of here, if possible. After all, y'all owe me a lot of money.
Hold on, I don't owe you any money.
Well, the prince does.
Listen, I'm an orphan. I really don't have a family to go back to. If you want to go killing people, I'll join you. I just need to make money just to eventually buy my own goddamn country.
That's a lot of money.
Listen, I got a big dream. Big dream.
Big
Why don't
man,
we-
big
why don't we-
dreams.
Why don't we start with like maybe buying our own farm first? Because that's more.
Listen.
The prince already offered me land, so I have land and money coming, so we can start a home base there.
You could create a country on your farm.
Your
Can you-
idea, my body, we could go far.
So again, so the prince owes you once we get out. I want to get out. You want to get out. Everyone's down for getting out. What benefit do we have of helping these people?
Because they know how to get out here better than anybody else without running into more problems. With their help, we can actually get the hell out of here.
First off, they said they were going to give us treasure to pay our way out of here.
To who? We have a map.
This is a third party extension. We called after hours. We got their automated service.
Nah, he's gonna go with whatever we say.
Yeah,
After
you
all,
know,
we're the ones
shit
doing all the
anyways.
fighting.
Technically, we captured Prince after he was captured. He's our hostage. Technically.
It is what it is. Let's just do this. All right. Let's just go around and explain what we were doing before we got captured and how we ended with the drought. Let's at least start there.
Mine's easy.
Okay.
I was gambling and I won, and they didn't like it, so they threw me in the jail.
I was an orphan. I was robbing. They threw me in jail.
Wait, you were robbing an orphan?
I'm an orphan. I was robbing.
Oh.
I got locked up, and they won't let me out.
Sadly, I don't remember my past. I have no recollection of who I was. All I remember is just waking up in the jail.
Is that your name?
I mean, to my knowledge, that's my name.
I mean, technically, I don't remember how I got there either, but I figured that's how I've been arrested before. So, you know.
5 or 6 times getting locked in the pony. You gotta go with the same story.
Well,
How
I was
about you?
arrested topside. I was arrested topside and sold to the drop.
Okay, so you got a good reason to kick some ass.
That's why I'm trying to get out of here as fast as
Just wanna
possible.
get-
Here we
Let's
go.
go.
We have now we somewhat know each other.
Hey,
Well,
he's the little brother. Let's go.
well, while you guys prepare, hey, shoot, can I talk to you for just a quick second?
Yeah, what's up?
Sidebar.
We
Look.
move out the company to a different company.
How are we supposed to bond when you're keeping secrets?
It's not a secret. Me and him had an agreement before, and I just need to adjust it a little bit. Hey, look, back there at the last fight, I saw what you did with the whole thing, and it's kind of freaking me out, but it's kind of really cool. Do you think you can give me the basics if I had Stool here, kind of like, bond with us a little bit so I could download some basics on that abracadabra stuff you do? If you at least allow me to at least figure that part out, at least show me that, I'll let you have the scroll.
Well, I have the scroll. I just need you to read me the scroll.
No, meaning I will read the scroll for you and I'll let you know what it is. It's a spell. It's something that you can do, and I would like to know how to do stuff too, but I just need a kind of like a little pointers. And I think it's faster if Stool shows me through you than versus me trying to actually like read a book.
So now, and then I will teach you the basics over the next few days.
Stool.
That way, as you learn the basics, I'm learning this stuff.
All right. Do you think you can do a quick little mind dump over here with me and Shu?
I will consent to this. Yes.
Sweet. All right. He takes the scroll and he's like, I'll start reading the moment you start dumping.
Well, I think we're gonna get cross-streamed information there, and I will teach you the basics from there. And
I'll tell you this
I-
much.
I
This-
and I hold on my hand.
That's kind of disgusting. I take his hand anyways and I kind of shake it like, yeah. All right.
All right, so I plop down and I'm ready to receive the information on the scroll, and then I'm ready to begin just.
All right. And I start reading. This scroll is a scroll of resurrection. You touch the dead creature that has been dead for more than a century, that didn't die of old age, and that isn't undead. If its soul is free and willing, the target returns to life with all of its hit points, spells, and abilities.
Okay, so I looked. She was like, okay, use a spell because I can bring people back as bones anyways. But cool. And so here's the basics. So when you feel
No. They come back with all of their hit points, spells, and abilities. So this can be used on any one of us.
All right. So your basics training. Are you ready for this?
Yep.
All right.
Hit
so,
me.
All right. So when the ice thing that I do that I like to freeze, and I try to freeze the thing from before.
Yeah.
So whenever I'm ready to do that, it's like a poof, whoosh, right? And then when I want to make things lift up, it's like a type of thing. You just gotta let it out. Just let it push. Sometimes you feel a little bubble in your gut.
How about this? How about you just kind of
Okay.
imagine doing it in your brain and let Stool just transfer the info to me.
Right. And so
Do
stool.
I hear any of this?
I'm getting
You
some
do.
vibes like you just gotta get crunchy and it's like, and then like, and then it's
I'm sitting there and I'm looking at him like, what the fuck?
Because remember, I'm a sorcerer. I'm not classically trained like a wizard is. So for me, it's all feel.
So Drax sees it.
Wait, how far away
Yeah.
are you guys having this conversation?
We're probably like, I don't know, like 20 feet or so away. We
Okay.
didn't go far. It's not like
All
a
right.
private conversation, but
It's just a sidebar. It's not. I'm not trying
Yeah.
to hide anything.
Did you get any of that?
No, not really. It looks like he's doing some kind of whoosh, wash, and crunch.
I'm just looking at him and going, Jim John, did you get any of that?
I mean, sort of. Stool's kind of showing me images. It kind of makes a little sense.
Constipated.
Weird.
I'm sure through Stool, I'll say this, through Stool's imagery, he'll be able to convey that as I'm making these noises, there's like arcane buildups and flex that'll come off that'll trigger different spells. But it's mostly cantrips that I'm showing you at the moment.
Interestingly enough, I think that in the images in my head that Stool's sending me, it looks like me doing those movements in his head.
With my effects. Cool. So what's the decision? Do you guys want to stay and try and help? Or like, Stool, you're biased. Shush. Do you guys want to stay and help?
I think we need to.
Stu's going to explain. So the original agreement was to destroy one of the creatures, one of the two creatures plaguing us. Two if you wanted, but at the very least the one, which is why Basidia was able to give you the potions of greater healing, because you fulfilled one of the requests. Some information changed, so now there is a third request that's been added. Now you've already completed one. The third request is the recon, basically, which seems to be, it's another option for however you choose to proceed.
Well, as much as I want to take on that big bad guy, if something goes down up there at that party and we're wasted, tired from fighting that other guy, I don't know if we can do both.
Well, top.
Let's focus on one. We're just spying against a whole hive network of mushroom people that are already connected. It can easily, if one sees us, they all see us. You realize how easily that could go wrong? I mean, to my understanding, yes. You saw the crazy elf there. He was talking with us, and then he got his orders from in his head. And it was like, I gotta go. I can only assume that whatever's affecting them, they have a way of easily communicating in some hive fashion.
I mean, don't they still need to be near each other for the spores to work?
Correct, but regardless, they still have a connection. He wasn't even near whoever he was talking to. We have to be in a radius of Stu.
Well, if it's just spying and you guys give me about an hour,
Well,
I can help us spy.
I do want to kind of just course correct here. It's less spying. There's not going to be any like stealth or anything needed to do this. It's basically Sovereign Basidia doesn't feel like it's safe for the Myconids that are loyal to him to go up there and just see what's going on.
So we got to
Because
stop them from going up there.
Whatever is happening seems to greatly affect Myconids and not so much other races.
So if it's a matter of stopping people from going up there, do we just block the way?
Well, it's not
leave
even
us
stopping. He just wants you guys to go up there and take a look at what's going on.
Well, less spying, more investigating.
More just surveilling, I guess.
Exactly, yes. I just didn't want you guys to start going down this. I do like Jim Jar's idea, by the way. Giving you guys some tips or whatever for stealth, but I didn't want you guys to go down a rabbit hole thinking it's like this super like, Splinter Cell kind of like,
You let us think what we
mission.
want to think. So.
Yeah.
Well, like I said,
6 going dog.
if you give me an hour, I can have something ready and it can help us at least give us a heads up what we're walking into. It does, but I could send someone that can fly without you. I could send something that can fly or something that can crawl that they wouldn't notice. You're a little bit noticeable.
All right, well, whatever. If you guys really want to do this, then let's do it. Let's at least split it up. Someone's always with somebody, and we proceed from there. Maybe we all four go in, 2 run left, 2 run right. We look around. We meet back in like 15 minutes, and then we dip out.
I mean, okay, so who do you think I should team up with then?
Okay.
Because he already has a tendency to not like you, and if he's sport, he's probably not gonna like you more.
You're talking about Drax and me.
That's who I'm talking to.
All right. Well, let's do this then. Drax, I'm with you, buddy.
All right, that means I'm with you, Shu.
So
Can you guys give me the hour before we go off on this thing? Just kind of prep.
In the time that we spent in the village, was there like a slow point in the town, like maybe like a certain hours that they're not as active?
there's not really, if we're taking a look at like the activity, there's not like a universal nighttime in Neverlight Grove where like people stop doing stuff and rest. That's not really how it works for Myconids. It's just they're constantly doing it based on their own individual cycles. So no matter what, there's always going to be some activity at different parts of the area.
So let's do this. Jim Jar needs an hour. Let's you and me go to Sovereign and let them know that we're gonna take a look for them. That should at least give Jim Jar the hour he needs to prep whatever he's gonna prep, and then from there, all 4 of us head out, just get it over with and get it done. Because if we try and wait for shift changes or wait for this, then we're gonna look suspicious. So just walk in, take a look around like we're excited to be happy and get up.
Okay, that sounds like a plan. Is Stool coming in with us?
Well, Stoll can't go in. He's not going to be able to go in.
I could perhaps stay here with Drax if that were to make things easier.
Well, I mean, I guess that works, but
Got any
We-
more of those
I- I've-
doors?
well, I don't know. I kind of feel like we should have all the backup we can and just put a mask over Drax's face so he doesn't smell spores.
I would say splitting up can be risky sometimes.
So why don't you stay here with the others? We will go figure what we got to figure out. We'll come back. That way you're not
Yes.
at risk since you're susceptible. Drax still has an eye on. He'll be with Jim Jar, and if need be, I'll split up my two bone guys, one between me and Harvey, and one between their group. That way, technically, each group has 3 bodies.
Cool.
So, are you able to like communicate back and forth between them, like through a message system or some kind?
It's like a
So Jim Judge's going to go over by the fire, grab some charcoal out of the fire, and start working on his little thing.
they are considered undead servants, yes. But that does not mean that they aren't.
All right. Cool. All right, guys. Why don't you go tell Obsidian that we'll be there in an hour?
All right.
You have communication at all times with them?
So me and Harvey, and I'll take Ingress with us too, and I'll leave Gall to keep watch of the entrance while they all do whatever they do for everything else.
Okay, and you guys are just going to just inform Basidia that you're accepting the recon deal?
Yes,
Maybe what for stuff?
but shop for something
Shop.
to an extent, not a big shopping experience.
I would say that, I mean, barter is.
I need
always-
armor. like a
Barter is always a
motherfucker.
thing, right? So let's just say you have an uneventful trip to go inform Basidia. Basidia is like, oh, this is fantastic news. Thank you so much. It will definitely give us a clearer picture of what our next steps need to be. And I assure you, you will not only be rewarded well with a lot of the earthly things that your kind prefers, but we will make sure that you have a means of finding an easier way to the surface. And at this point, you're welcome to like ask the city about anything that you want to get, anything you're looking for, what potentially could be traded. Like you can open up like a bartering conversation at this point.
Okay. There's a few things I need and a few questions I have.
I will do my best to assist.
First thing, one of our companions is walking around pretty much naked with no protection. Do you have even any
Have
type of like,
a loin.
you ain't here, bitch?
Yeah, you're not there, bitch. So you're
I'm gonna
looking
clean my goddamn
for
fetus then.
clothing?
Well, I mean, clothing, or do you guys, when you send out your like, I guess, warriors or scouts, do they have any extra protection, like armor to an extent that they, even if it's like bark that is strung together, that we can give him?
We have natural defenses. Typically, when we are bringing new myconids into this community, they are molded and shaped based on what their roles will be. So most of our
Gotcha.
fighters are grown hearty with, thicker carapaces.
This is gonna sound insensitive, and I apologize in advance. But if we find one of them that's no longer among the living, would I be able to use that carapace as an armor for him?
Those, yes, those parts are useless to us when they pass. So if you do come across any, you are welcome to them.
Noted. I just don't want to be rude. Harvey, you got anything on that point?
I mean, by chance, do you have anything that's like a dragon theme or like maybe a relic of a dragon? I do fight in a dragon style.
Basidia is conveying confusion and doesn't seem to recognize the word dragon.
Yeah, they live underground. What you thought was gonna do? Those things fly, dude. Okay, forget his requests.
They pull a little lizard out of their pocket.
There are big lizards that the drow ride sometimes that allow them to cling to the walls and the ceilings of caverns and tunnels.
So you have a chance to find something later. Now shut up. So back, all right. So the items I need. Do you have any sulfur or pine tar?
There is pine tar. I assume is something to do with.
It's like tree juice. It's like sap.
Ah, yes, the Zerkwoods do have a sap, and he telepathically even like the word sounds weird, like he's not familiar with it necessarily, but yes, the Zerkwoods we have do have a sap that is harvested sometimes for many uses. Perhaps this might be something that would be beneficial to you.
It might, if you have even a small amount of all three of those items, I could really use that to help you out.
We collect many things. I'm sure we could. What are you willing to barter for this?
Well, this guy has beautiful feathers that would look like wonderful decorations and adornments. We can always barter for that. I also have.
Basidia tilts its head and is like kind of like looking up and down at Harvey.
Yes. I also have.
Quickly reaches out and snatches a handful of feathers and says, "Deal."
Is there a bald spot?
There is a small little bald spot. Yeah.
I look at the bald spot. Drax is going to look. So that's the deal. You have the feathers for the
Deal.
items.
Allow me 50 minutes to procure the other items, and I will bring them to you in your hiding hole.
Perfect. Before we leave, the people that make the babies grow, can I talk with those people?
The circle of growers?
Yeah, who's like the main person for that?
I would certainly not discourage you from that. However, the circle leader is one of the Myconids that is loyal to Sovereign Philo and is acting strangely. So if you do go to meet with them, I would caution you.
Okay. Are they on the plateau or are they where the growers are?
They are. We're looking at the map here. See the number 2 right here. So the circle of growers is right here. So they're kind of a little bit to the east of your tunnel entrance to go back to your hiding hole.
Gotcha, but not like at the plateau where we have to go check stuff out later.
So it's actually on the way. So the plateau, if you're looking here on the screen, is number 5. And the easiest way to get there is to basically go past the circle of growers.
Okay. Well, thank you. That's all we really needed to let you know that we're going to do this job for you to help you out.
Perfect.
All right, are we ready?
Yeah, but do I have like a little bald spot?
Here, let me look at it. Do you allow me to look at your head?
I mean, yeah. Was it on my head?
Or wherever, I'm just assuming it's like,
We'll say it was like on the neck.
So look at the neck. It'll be fine.
What did you rub in? What was that?
I spit on his wound or his bald spot.
Oh, okay.
Him in the spit. All right.
We go back to the group.
Okay.
Has it been an hour?
Yeah. So once you guys get back, we'll assume you were just kind of like preparing, checking your gear, etc. And hours passed. In that time, Basidia came and dropped off the promised items to Shu, and then ended up leaving again.
Hey, Drax, I want to show you something. And then I produced this small little black owl. Look at him. Ain't he cute? Yeah, I just figured this part out. I kind of seen other people do it. And, after him explaining a little bit the whoosh and the washing, I kind of figured out how to do this.
Constipated?
Well, yeah, but it showed me how to make this little guy.
How many of these things can you make?
Well, I mean, I kind of just learned, so just one, I guess.
What
I
can
have
you
a little
do?
familiar. Well, he can fly, he can spy, and I'm pretty sure that with me and you figure some things out. I'm pretty sure he's up to. We can do more things with him. I'm just kind of cool that I'm happy that I made him.
I walk up to it and I flick it.
And you flick it.
Not hard, just
Cool.
because I'm thinking of the big bird. So now Drax has a disdain for birds.
It doesn't mind. It kind of turns around. It sits there and it does this number here. Turns its head all the way around to you and just kind of cocks its head at you like, bitch.
And at that point, Drax is like, that's pretty damn cool. Yeah, all right.
It kind of does the head thing with the head. Cool. I haven't named him yet, but it's a little black hawk. Little black, I'm sorry, owl. All black, just orange eyes. Hey guys. So what'd you get?
Oh, well, Drax, they don't have armor, but she said if you find one of their dead warriors, you could use his skin as armor and it wouldn't be rude. So
Is there a graveyard? So how are we supposed to find a dead warrior? Just they have dead people lying around?
My thought was if we go to the circle of growers and grow things and they mold the people, we have them mold one that would have the same body shape as Drax real quick and then just
Yeah, but I don't. So you want to grow one and kill it right out of the ground?
armor. Yeah, it hasn't lived a life yet, so it should be fine.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's how that works.
You can turn the other way if you want.
Yeah, they come out like tiny. How long does it take for them? Hey, Stool, how long does it take for your kids to get as big as you or as big as Drax?
Oh, many years.
See, we don't got time for that. Stool.
Remember, they
Unless
came on the
we put-
ground and it
Unless
was, it's a small world.
Drax keeps it as a pet until the right time.
So you're gonna raise it and then kill it?
No,
We could get one of the defective ones, like a
no.
spore.
I promise to water it. I promise
No.
to give it light.
No.
God damn it.
That-
I can't
that-
have spores. I can't have a little mushroom either.
You would not be able to care for it.
Why? Because I'm a goblin? So now this is a race thing?
Technically, you're a hobgoblin.
Do you know the
Birdman, if
very
you
first
want
step
to
of
die.
our process to create new myconids?
Or
Stool, where do they keep your dead?
The dead are typically put into the back of the cavern near the giant mushroom.
So your dad is fertilizing the big mushroom.
Well, that's typically where they're taken, yes.
All right, well, so we got to
So
go that
you're
way. anyways.
fertilizing the big mushroom.
The big mushroom is a new development. It was not there when I was captured, when I left.
That big thing wasn't here before you left. I thought that thing's been here forever.
okay.
Although it is large, that's
So
part
where's
of
the
the concern that
platform
the
that we
city
have
has.
to go to if we're gonna do this?
We have to leave our little
Uh-huh.
line, and then we're gonna make a left at number 2, and we're gonna go through number 2 to get to number 5. We got to get up to the big mushroom, right? That's basically where we got to go, right?
You don't necessarily have to go up there. The plateau that the city is asking about is number 5 on the map.
Gotcha. So we can knock out the 3 things
Doing
with
this.
1 stone.
All right, let's do this.
Okay.
I
So-
want to talk to the growers on our way up to the plateau.
Okay. So as you exit the cavern, you guys kind of just take a moment to like make sure it doesn't seem too suspicious. You're just all of you kind of filing out. You notice on the opposite side of this cavern that you're in, you can easily make out a drow figure on the other side, and after closer inspection can tell that it's Sereth, and it seems like he's busy working on something. It's a little hard to make out from here, but he's on the other side of the cavern. You make your way to the circle of growers, and you can see small little, like I would say like in rows of 2, you can see like a few different lines of small mushrooms kind of like sprouting from a really mossy patch of like mottled brown and green growth. You have 3 myconids that seem to be tending to them, and they are leaning over and like producing spores and coaxing growth by way of communicating with these things and telling them what's needed as a way for them to form. one of the myconids notices your presence, steps up, and then without even asking, releases spores to open communication. How can I help you?
Yeah, so I mean, we're here to really partake. We're on our way up now to the plateau, so we can join in the festivity and the unity, and really celebrate and be happy with that. Through that, I wanted to help out as best as possibly could, and I would love to know how you grow your.
Well, this is a fairly sacred process. Suffice it to say, we have constant communication with them as they're forming, instilling ideas into them of what the colony and the society needs. And then through that positive affirmation, they begin to mold themselves to what's desired.
Okay. Is there do you start from a specific spore? Do you take a piece of yourself and put it in, and it grows from there? Like, how does it start? Because
The finer
the affirmation
points of
sounds
our
great.
Yes, the finer points of our reproduction are not something I am able to discuss with outsiders, but it does require some small sacrifice from fully grown myconids.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you for that. We're gonna head up to the festivities now.
Excellent. You will definitely enjoy yourself.
Can't freaking wait. Goodbye.
All right. Anything else? You or are we just making our way to the plateau now? Making our way to plateau. All right. So
Running fast, which is fast beside us.
So as you start to get closer, this particular level of the plateau actually rises higher than a lot of the other ones that you've seen. And it seems to be screened by some sort of like natural fence of like these zirkwood stalks, which are basically the equivalent of like redwood trees in the Underdark. And as you're getting closer, you can hear some muffled murmuring at near the top of the plateau.
Hey guys, my little friend, I could send him ahead of us and kind of scout before we walk in, just to make sure that we're not walking into an ambush.
Speaking of which, have you bothered to give the owl a name?
No, I haven't come up with a name for him yet.
How about Harvey?
No, thank you. That's really
Well,
sweet.
I mean, we could, and then it just whenever he dies, we feel worse about it than if you would die. I'm fine with that. If we named the owl Harvey, I would feel worse if the owl died compared to when you died.
Well, in that case, how about we just name him Owl?
You want to name the owl? No. So the question is, do we think we should go in there all together, or do we think we should go in in groups?
Let's split up in our groups of 3 now. Maybe we should wait on sending the bird in, just because I don't think owls are very common down here.
Yeah, well, all right.
They may just shoot it just to shoot it.
Not a problem. So I'll just leave him. He's just going to hang out in my backpack there. Hey, Drax, which one of the bone guys are we getting?
Gall, the bigger horned one.
All right.
Which I would like to think during this time, real quick, just if I could throw whatever scrap material I have over him, just so he's not just naked bones walking around.
Yeah, he's got, I would say you've been able to find like some moss and other things to kind of just disguise him a little bit. Yeah.
All right. Can I do a quick check as we approach these trees to see if there's a clear entrance or any guards or anything like that we need to be looking at?
Yeah, you won't have to roll a check for that. You can't see that there's any guards positioned on the outside, and the entrance requires you to go north. So you can't, like, from where you're at right now, you can't see until you can't see what's in there until you actually step foot into the entrance. But on the outside, you don't see any guards or anything.
So we can't really split up until we're through the redwoods. All right. What order are we going through these things? Is wide enough for the whole party to fit through, or?
Yeah, the entrance is wide enough. Yeah, you guys just had, if you're, done, if you want to like investigate or anything, or if you're done with that, we can just have you guys walk in. It's up to you guys.
But the Zirkwoods don't act or move, right?
Some
The
of
big
them
ones
do that are animated, but none of the ones up here are animated.
Okay, I'm cool with walking in.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay. All right. As you enter this area, the low like mumbling and muttering that you were hearing earlier gets louder and eventually starts to turn into like a symphony of moans, cries, and hisses. The only light that you can see is coming from a few glowing mushrooms along the edge. But even in the darkness and the gloom, you can't miss the source of the sounds. The heads of creatures of a dozen humanoid Underdark races peek from the ground with mold and fungi growing around them. One voice calls out loudly in Undercommon, so anyone who speaks Undercommon will understand this. It's a female drow who's fighting to speak and says, "Please, for your gods of light, kill me." She manages to stir within her living grave, raising a spider medallion that's half embedded in the bloated growth that used to be her hand. Half of her face is rotten and pustulate, a bed for sprouting of scores of tiny mushrooms. "The great cedar, trap, she's here. The lady of decay, Zugdmoy."
Oh shit!
I mean, should we help her, guys?
Hell
We're
no!
not here for that. Let's split
What
up,
did she
do our
say?
job, and leave. She said, none of my concern, but she basically just wants to die. So I feel like it's gonna take
Let's
a
kill her.
ways.
Oh, hold on. Let me see.
Yeah,
I
let's
got
not
a
stir anything.
crowbar. I can just kind of pick the thing off of her hand.
I
Well,
have, if we really needed to, I can have one of either Ingress or Gaul grab it. They're not going to be affected by anything if that's the case. But
yeah. Well, she's
Again.
reaching up for it, so let's go ahead and grab it just in case we need it. But hold on. There's how many heads do we see sticking out of the ground?
I would say 13, 14.
How do we not end up like those guys?
The moans of the garden's victims suddenly take on a new tone of fear as something moves across the foul ground. A disgusting larval creature rises up before you, showing only vestigial fungal growths that hint that at one time it used to be a myconid. "Welcome, travelers." The aberrant myconid's voice gurgles and spits as it speaks both aloud, verbally, and in your minds. "Are you here for the wedding rehearsal? Friends of the bride or her intended? No matter, let the love of the great cedar embrace you as you become one with her chosen, the great body." And as it says that, 3 myconid like rise up from the ground around it and it lunges at you. So I think we're going to stop here and we'll roll for initiative when we come back.
I didn't like the sound of that at all.